Today I'm going to teach you some of the most powerful tools to build unbreakable discipline so you can achieve everything you want and more. These tools have changed my life and I am so excited to share them with you today so that they can change yours too. If you're new here, hi, my name is Cadence and I'm so happy to have you. On my channel, I share and test evidence-based health and fitness tools so that we can reach our goals together. I promise I'll make this short, but we need to check a couple of boxes for our baseline health in order for this other stuff to be effective. Please, 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 please get some good quality sleep on a consistent schedule. Ideally, a little bit of sunlight in the morning, adding some whole foods to your diet like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and a little bit of exercise. If you're hearing this and thinking, oh no, those are actually the things that I was trying to add to my routine and build discipline for, then don't stress. First of all, that's amazing because these are some of the most high value changes you can make for your health. And also, I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know. Just keep watching. The first question I ask you is why? Anchoring ourselves to a why is so important. For me, researching is actually essential to this step. Maybe some of you watching this can relate, but I myself am incredibly stubborn. If someone tells me to do something just because, there's almost no chance I'm gonna do it. You have to explain why and kind of convince me. This is why, as you'll see in a lot of my videos, I don't just make suggestions or talk about my approach to things without usually adding some scientific backing or reasoning for why I'm doing that thing or why I would suggest that you do that thing too. Here's an example. If I told you drink 80 ounces of water a day, it's good for you, then maybe you will, maybe you won't. But if I told you that drinking 80 ounces of water a day reduced fatigue and brain fog and improved alertness and focus, then you would probably be a lot more likely to try it. And if in addition to those facts, I explained to you that when our cells are hydrated and there is water in our bladder and our gut, our body sends signals to our brain to improve alertness and focus, enhance our physical and mental abilities, and that even slight, to the tune of 2% levels in dehydration can impair our cognitive and physical performance, then I'd be willing to bet that just now you probably reached for your water bottle. We really underestimate the power of why and knowing the possible benefits of us becoming disciplined in the things we care about. So my challenge to you is to act like you're trying to convince yourself that this is a good habit to build, because really you are. Do some research, find some evidence, really think it through, and lock down why this habit is necessary for you. Your belief about willpower and whether or not it's a limited resource actually determines whether or not it's a limited resource. It's so exciting to learn that you have the power to change your outcomes with simply your beliefs and perspectives on things. Our belief effects are real, powerful, and can have a material impact on our life. If we believe that willpower is like a glass of water that you pour out throughout the day and it eventually is empty, then that's true. If we believe that willpower is like a lever that you pull and you can pull as many times as you need, then that is true. So I'm telling you right now that if you choose to believe that willpower is not a limited resource, which has been proven to be true in scientific studies, then it will transform your willpower for the better. Now, there is a little bit of controversy in this area of study, and I'll keep you updated if any new research comes out that refutes what I'm sharing right now. Myself, and more importantly, researchers I really trust, are of the perspective that belief is what's impacting our experience with willpower. And one thing I love about that, belief is free. The question I still find looming whenever I hear something like this is, how can I get myself to believe that willpower isn't limited if I feel like it is in my own experience? And now I'll take a page out of Atomic Habits, casting votes. The concept is that if you want to be someone who's healthy, you have to convince yourself of that identity by casting votes over time to become that person. Every time that you reach for a healthy food instead of an unhealthy one, you cast a vote for yourself as a healthy person. And eventually, if you have enough votes, you can be convinced that you now have that identity. So the challenge here is to start testing the concept that your willpower is unlimited. Challenge yourself to cast votes for this belief, and over time you can convince yourself that it's true by experimenting. Do a hard thing, and after that, challenge yourself to do another hard thing and another, and see how far you can take it throughout your day or your week or month. Of course, stay safe and don't do anything that's physically or mentally damaging. Do hard things that are good for you. We can be realistic here and say that there's not an infinite amount of willpower. Of course, at some point we get physically or mentally tired, but trust me when I say the limit is much further away than you think it is. You know yourself, and you probably know what the main obstacles will be between yourself now and the disciplined version of yourself you want to become. I'll give you an example for myself. Although I'm someone who really loves mornings once I've woken up, I'm really tough to wake up, and I wake up very slowly. I roll around in bed, I like snoozing my alarm and getting just a few more minutes. So the number one obstacle preventing me from getting my workout in early in the morning before I have to start work for the day is the getting up out of bed part. But I know that once I'm up, I almost always will get the job done. So how can I come up with some solutions to address that obstacle? I do know that I need to go to bed early enough to get a full 8 hours of sleep so that I don't wake up feeling really exhausted. I also know I need multiple alarms, so I have one light that turns on automatically a few minutes before my iPhone alarm goes off, and I actually have 2 iPhone alarms set up so that if I snooze the first one or turn it off, at least I have a backup one a few minutes later. I also know I need to reduce friction, so I will lay out my gym clothes, I will make my electrolyte and pre-workout drink the night before. So So take your goals and the habits that you want to build and figure out what your obstacles will be to remaining disciplined with those habits and find solutions. And the solutions can be really simple. If you want to eat healthier and you know that eating out with friends and family might be one of the obstacles standing in your way, maybe your solution is just thinking, I'm gonna order something healthy off the menu that includes a protein and some veggies on the side, and I won't order a soda. Research shows us there are so many benefits to trying to predict our obstacles and come up with solutions for them. We can stick to our goals more easily during inconvenient times, like when we're busy or during the holidays, or when our goal-directed actions are unpleasant or difficult, which is like almost always, or when the goal is easy to forget, like taking your vitamins in the morning. We're also more resilient when it comes to our goals overall. My next suggestion is to knock over one domino. For me, sometimes all it takes is convincing myself to do one thing. And for me, usually it's getting to my morning workout that sets the day in motion in the most amazing way. I'm someone who loves working out overall, and I will tell anyone who will listen to me that it will change your life if you try it. But in the half hour leading up to my workout, I experience a lot of friction, especially the getting out of bed to get ready part. I tend to procrastinate a lot too, and I will find just about anything to do besides actually driving to the gym and going. I find that once I push through that friction and get myself to the gym, it becomes so much easier throughout the day to stick to the other habits that I want and sort of maintain a streak of good habits. And the dominoes for me just tend to continue to fall throughout the day. A tactic I use a lot when I'm laying in bed is telling myself, okay, all you have to do is brush your teeth and get in your workout clothes and shoes, and then if you really want to go back to bed, you can. And when I tell myself that, I'm like, okay, great, that sounds great, because I'm gonna get right back into bed after that, and that'll be perfect. But the truth is, probably 99% of the time, once I've gotten past that first step, the dominoes continue to fall, and I just continue through to the end of the goal, getting to the gym. There is scientific backing for some of this too. The more hard things we do, the easier it becomes for us to do hard things, because it increases activity and size in an area of our brain for motivation and willpower. So step by step, day by day, we can become the best version of ourselves this way. Next, I encourage you to go one more. The easiest way I've found to add micro sucks into my routine, which is a term coined by Andrew Huberman, basically meaning something small in your day-to-day that sucks but is good for you, and it helps to build up the area of our brain for willpower and tenacity. The easiest way I've found to add micro sucks into my day is to tack on a little bit more whenever I'm already doing something difficult. So the other day I did an incline walk for my workout, and at the end, my little bit more was doing a 60-second run at like a pretty fast speed for me. At the end of my workout, I love to tack on, well, I don't love to, but I do, add burpees or jump squats, jumping jacks, push-ups. If I'm working on editing a video and I'm ready to be done, I will put on a timer for 5 more minutes and try to just go that little bit more. Pushing ourselves just that little bit further day by day can really improve our willpower. And at the end of the day, discipline boils down to our ability to motivate ourselves to do things that are difficult for us, which is a combination of repetition and willpower. Another tip that was incredibly helpful for me was designing my environment. As someone who loves kitchen aesthetics, I really hate that my creatine and L-glutamine are on top of my fridge, but when I see them, I'm reminded to take them, and it is the only way that I've been able to start taking them consistently over the last few months. I decided to put my vitamins front and center in my fridge right next to the milk that I'd pull out every day to make my coffee, and now I'm finally able to take my vitamins every single day without fail. If you want to do something more consistently, remove as much friction as possible to do that thing. For example, I keep my YouTube setup in my office ready to go at any time. My tripod, my lights, everything stays set up, and although it does look a little bit weird, it's super convenient and reduces a lot of the friction necessary to sit down and film a video. I also leave my yoga mat out in my living room, even though it's not the prettiest and I like to put it away when I have guests. Having it out there ready to roll out and not hidden away in the back of my closet encourages me to stretch, especially stretch out my back after a long day of working hunched over at my computer. But the opposite is also true in your environment. The easiest way to stick to a healthy diet is to only have healthy foods in your house. The thing I love about that concept is a rule that I've created for myself that's been really helpful, and it's that you can go out and buy a less healthy food anytime that you want. So for example, I don't keep a tub of ice cream in my house, but anytime I want ice cream, I can go out and get it. But often I am too lazy to do that. And in that case, my laziness actually works in my favor to help me stay on track closer to my goals, specifically eating less processed foods and more whole foods instead. So the only time of the week that I really need to be disciplined with my food is when I'm grocery shopping. And I'm not spending every minute of the day trying to ignore cookies and chocolate bars in my pantry. That's not to say that balance isn't important, because it is. But setting up your environment for success, removing things that will take you away from your goals. One example of this could be if you take your phone out of the room that you're working in, you're so much less likely to be distracted by it because you have to stand up, walk over to go find it and pick it up, rather than just having it right next to you where maybe suddenly out of nowhere you realize you've been on your phone for the last 5 minutes and had no idea. This visualization exercise can be really effective in helping us improve our discipline. It's called mental contrasting. Essentially, essentially you visualize where you want to be compared to where you are now, and it really increases the likelihood that we'll take action towards our goals and maintain that discipline we're looking for. Essentially, we're showing ourselves that our current reality is the obstacle between us and where we want to go. It can really strengthen our commitment to continuing to show up and be disciplined with our habits that will get us to our goals. This will definitely not be the last video that I do on discipline. We've barely just scratched the surface on some of the tools, protocols, and things that have worked for me in terms of developing discipline over years and years of trying and lots of failures. I'd love to hear what your favorite tools for discipline are down in the comments, or if you're still working on it, let me know what your next goal is so that we can cheer each other on. If you found this video helpful, the best way to support my channel is give this video a like and hit subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. If you didn't hear, I'm doing 25 days of fitness on my channel where I'm posting 25 short videos and 12 long videos in the month of December, all centered around us becoming the best versions of ourselves. So come tag along if you're interested.